musical journey.
Oh man, okay. All right, y'all ready?
Yourself, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, I'm Clay Page. I'm from Northeast Georgia, a little town called Elberton, Georgia, and been playing music for a while now. We out here in Bartonville, Texas tonight, and looking like it's gonna be a sold out show tonight. My Uncle Norman lived right across the road from me, and he had an old acoustic harmony guitar, old Sunburst harmony guitar, and he showed me a couple of chords on the guitar, and he told me, he said, man, we need to get you some guitar lessons. So he took me to South Carolina, which is like 5 minutes away from where I grew up, and I took guitar lessons for about a year from a fellow named Vernon Brown, one of the most phenomenal guitar pickers I know, and just sort of lit the fire. I sang my first live show when I was 14. At that time when I started guitar lessons, I was 9, but I didn't start singing until I was 14. So I started my musical journey as a guitar player, and I've always used Kyser capos. No kidding. It's crazy how this circles back around, like, you know. I remember the first time I bought a Kyser capo from Stan's Music World in my hometown, and I thought it was the coolest thing, like putting it on the guitar and just moving it up and down the neck, you know. I thought that was, it's like, man, I got a mandolin now all of a sudden, you know. So, but yeah, I've always enjoyed music. My Uncle Norman was definitely a big role in me playing music. I wouldn't be here tonight if it wasn't for my Uncle Norman. I lived in Nashville, Tennessee a little while. When my Uncle Norman passed, he willed me his land that I was just telling you about, right across from my mom. So I live where my Uncle Norman lived, like where my musical journey started years ago. It's almost a magical thing being on that piece of property, and sometimes I just go out on the front porch and soak it in, you know, and sometimes inspiration hits. You know, my songwriting and stuff, I always try to write about things that I've done and things that's, you know, true to who I am. And I recently just released a 3-song EP titled Somewhere in Between. I think you may have heard Somewhere in Between from the acoustic session we done a few minutes ago. That was a song I wrote with my friend Trent Willman, who's another Texas guy. But I would definitely say that where I grew up has a huge role in my sound and you know, just the brand of my music. So I've grown in so many different ways as a musician. I tell people all the time, I may not can tell you what to do, but I can tell you what not to do in the business, you know? So I've been doing this a while, and you know, God's good, man. I've been blessed to do some of the things that I've done over the past few years. In 2019, I was on American Idol. American Idol discovered me at a songwriter night in Nashville, Tennessee, and ended up making it to the top 40 with American Idol back in 2019, and had no intentions of making it through the private, you know, audition round. So, like I say, man, I've been blessed for sure. So I would have to say what I'm the most creative in my writing is, well, one, when I'm not on the road, when I'm at home, I guess, you know, and just downtime. And sometimes I can sit down and try to write a song and force a song, and it just not come. I can sit there for 3-4 hours at a time trying to write a song, but if it's just not the right time for it to happen, it's not going to come. So, and then there's sometimes, you know, for instance, a few months ago, I was working in the yard with my granddad, and I just had a lot of time to sit still and, you know, sort of reflect on myself and some things that I needed to work on, and some things I needed to change, you know. So it's times like that when you're not even thinking about music really that inspiration hits, like something as simple as working in the yard with my granddad. A song fell out of the sky, you know, and that's an actual song that's on my EP, Somewhere in Between, and the title of that song is Working on Myself. And so, I don't know, like I say, I just always try to write stuff that's true to who I am. My dad, when I was in high school, man, he turned me on to a lot of Texas country music, and I can remember pulling up to high school with my old sub and sound system in my truck, bumping Stone of the Rue and Cross Canadian Ragweed and all of that stuff. And sometimes I'd pull up jamming Hank Sr., you know, and my buddies are like, dude, what are you listening to? And most of the time it was a Texas red dirt scene, you know, that type of stuff. And so I'd say that it's been a big inspiration on my sound. You know, I tell folks that my music is new old school, sort of a throwback to 90s country music. And I feel like some of the, you know, the red dirt and Texas country stuff is sort of a throwback to 90s country music. And I've always been a huge fan of that, just real genuine music, you know? So my family is definitely the rock of everything that I do. This may sound really crazy, but sometimes when you're 1,000 miles from the house, like another part of running the roads and touring is like that feeling of coming back home. So like when we pull out of Bartonville, Texas tonight and we start headed east, it's like just the feel of coming home. And in reference to an old John Hyatt song, a song that Stoney LaRue covered, Train to Birmingham was a song in particular that my dad turned me on to. And there's a line in that song that says, I just love the feel of coming home. And like, it's such a, you know, a subtle line, but when you're out here doing this, man, it hits differently. So family's definitely everything. And, you know, I'd be lying if I said I didn't get a little homesick from time to time. Hey everybody, this is Clay Page. I'm from a little town in northeast Georgia, Elberton, Georgia. And I'm here with Kyser tonight and Bartonville, Texas. Be sure to check out my music on Apple Music, Spotify. I just released a brand new EP, Somewhere in Between, last Friday. And you can find all my tour dates at claypagecountry.com. And be sure to follow me on Instagram at Clay Page Music, TikTok, all the social media outlets.